to the second installment of the Venture Maidens and Friends and our descent into Avernus.
I'm so scared.
Oh,
Will we live?
Who knows?
shit's about to get real spoopy up in here. So this is, of course, is brought to you by the Venture Maidens. If you don't know who we are, well then welcome. We stream our show on off Wednesdays from this show, as we stream every other Wednesday here. It's a beautiful pattern of
Consistency and joy.
Consistency, yes.
It's all I crave. Consistency is all I ask.
It as a virtue. Yes. So I'm. Oh, can
Oh yeah, they can see it. I think just refresh.
Oh yes,
I see our vid.
I see us.
Yeah, we good.
Yes. Okay. So yes. Woo! So let's get this show on the road. I am Sage, and I am going to be your storyteller.
Oh, fuck. Right. Hi, everybody. My name is Celeste Conowich, and I am playing Malady, your tiefling wizard. Nailed it.
I'm Paul, and I'll be playing your Fire Genasi Artificer, Calvin Coleridge.
You guys are so bad at alphabetical order.
Look, I don't know
wait.
if K
Okay.
comes after J
No,
or
those
not,
are the
and
two.
Paul stepped
That
in,
one's
so
hard.
Paul gets all the credit here. Hi, I'm JV. Tonight, I'm going to be playing Lord Roland Belrand Dan Cadril. He is a cleric, a war cleric of Kelimvor, and he is terrified with his no hit points that this will be his last session of Descent into Avernus.
Yep.
Currently on his head is
Kaylee. I'm Katie, and I'm playing her. She is a small bean of a halfling monk, and I want to punch a necromancer in the face right now.
Unfortunately, Naseem is not going to be able to join us for face punching of the necromancer, as she's being a post-apocalyptic trash witch on a movie set. So
Yeah.
she's living her best life.
Also, so Naseem is
cool.
fired today. That's what. It's lit.
But yeah, so it will be up to the four of you to tell me what the fuck happened last time.
Sure, but before we do that, we have a giveaway going for you folks. JB, do you want to tell the people about what they can win today?
Sure. So, as part of this live stream, we're actually going to be doing a dice giveaway each time the group levels up. And since last time we hit level 2, today we're going to be giving away a set of Pink Swirl Die Hard dice to one of you lucky winners. It's going to be at the break, so you need to stick around until then. And we're going to pull a winner when we come back. That way everyone has time to enter in the little code when we get there. US only and not Quebec, I believe, are the rules, but I'm going to touch base on all of those. If you don't win, like if we pull you and you're not in the US, that's cool. We're still going to give you a little something. I'm going to give you a PDF or something electronic. That way you don't feel left out. But go ahead and everybody enter, and we're going to find a nice new home for these dice at the break.
Yeah, so that code is in chat there. Sorry, everybody, this is only for folks watching on Twitch. But if you go ahead and you enter, it's !venture away. And I'm putting you on the little list. You also have to follow us to win the giveaway. So give us your follows, please. But I think that's all the news for now. So, yes, Sage, I'm sorry. What was your question?
What is happening in the streets of Baldur's Gate? Why are you here? What has happened so far?
Chaos.
Lady got beat up. We saw that happen.
Yeah, so we opened up with a lovely text block from Wizards of the Coast. That was the longest I've ever heard in my life.
Like literally 3 paragraphs. I mean, like
wow.
There's a lot to convey, but I'm just like, holy shit! Wow.
Yeah. And then so basically the gist of that, if I remember, was that a neighboring city called El Terrell had like disappeared. The entire city. Is that true? It's just gone. Cool.
There's a meteor crater left there apparently. No one's seen it really. No one. Yeah.
Right. And so like the Lord of Baldur's Gate is missing because of like they were in Elturel or something. Wait, what was what was the problem? Somebody's leader was gone. So the Flaming Fist was just like running the fucking show, and they're like, awesome, everybody, like there's rioting, but we're gonna control it. This is great. And then we all roll up working for them, and we're like, hey, sup, bro? What was his name? Does anybody remember?
Nope.
Nope.
I remember the guy who went missing, but not his name.
So Captain
Zodge.
There you go.
Yeah,
I was gonna call him
at
Captain.
the Basilisk Gate.
Ooh, yes,
That's where we had to meet him.
Yeah, so there was like a riot there, so we saw this Zod guy punch an old lady in the face, and then he's like, sup, you work for me now, players. And we're like, oh, cool, I guess.
Oh, this isn't like the brochure.
And then, so he's like, hey, you need to go talk to this chick who can tell you more about this cult that we need, like, stopped. So go find her. And we're like, oh, okay. So we went to the Elf Song Tavern, and she was like this super cool rogue chick who was like really into a card game, dice game. Yeah, it's not been so long. It was a dice game, and Malady was like, and like won a bunch, but then didn't because we were both cheating. We were both dirty, lying cheaters. And then she was attacked by. She used to be a pirate, and all of her pirate crew was like coming to get her. Because she was like, oh, I left. Like, we parted ways, quotation marks. And we're like, okay. So they all got there, and they're like, hey, where's this chick? We want to kill her. And Malady was like, no, you don't. Jedi mind tricks. And then they went away. And then we had to go. What did she tell us?
We went to the Smiling Nymph bathhouse.
Oh yes, apparently that was where the cult lives, in the bathhouse.
Nice.
Again, we're like, okay, and then we get there, and Malady's little henchman Waldo smelled another little henchman and was like, yeah. And so there's this two invisible devils. I'm doing so good, you guys.
You're killing it. You're killing it.
Paul, closer to the mic.
Tie it up. We used our mage hands to catch it.
Yeah.
And then
What are they called? Quasits? Quasits, right? Oh,
it's not a quasit.
Let me look at my character sheet.
It's
An
an
imp. Oh, yeah, that thing I have.
Yes, you've got one too.
Yep. Yeah, so we team mage handed it and like took it with us on a carabiner on my backpack. And then we've been walking around this place, and a bunch of people are getting massaged, and then we eventually like found a door to the basement, and we went down. It was all damp and nasty, and then we found a room with a helmet skull mask, and that was weird, and we're like, gross. And then there was like a dead body floating in the water, and we're like, gross. And then we kept going, and we walked into a room, and now there's this super gross lady who's like trying to resurrect the dead, and she's like, and we're like, we're gonna kill you. And that's what happened last time.
That was amazing.
Thank you.
Wow.
Good job.
Fuck, I gotta work on that. I gotta have more coffee before we do these.
Yeah, so the person you were initially referring to is the Grand Duke Older Ravengard.
Oh,
he
the
is, like,
how could I forget?
He's one of 4 dukes that oversee the city of Baldur's Gate. And he's like the most important one. He is also head of the Flaming Fist, and since he went on to a diplomatic mission to Elturel, he mysteriously went missing the same time this city just vanished into a crater. So everyone's like, those seem connected.
This
Wow.
is wild. What is happening?
And yeah, so there's definitely has been this air of mystery, and everyone's been whispering about and passing rumors about what could have happened. The city of Baldur's Gate has actually been on lockdown for 10 days. No one in, no one out, unless you pay a guard handsomely. And since the city's been locked down, this Captain Darman Zodge had told you about this Cult to the Dead 3 has been using this time to sow chaos and create and just like murder people and leave bodies out all over the streets. And so that's what you are now being paid to deal with. And once there are no murders for a day or two, he's willing to send you your payment of 200 gold. So you went on your way to the Smiling Mint after meeting with Tarina.
Tarina,
A pirate who was let go from her last job.
yes, because that's how pirate employment works.
And she gave you the tip to head to the Smiling Nymph, and yes, you have been going down these halls. And where we left off, you had just stepped through this archway that leads into this large rectangular room. Remember, the ground is about a foot thick of water here. The water has just started up again. And you walk into this rectangular room, and it's got these huge beams that are supporting these soggy wooden pillars that are just like they're just bowing with the humidity in this like dank air. And you see this hooded figure who's lifted up a skull, and from the eyes and the mouth of the skull drips this dark arcane energy that's oozing over this cadaver on the table. And at her feet is a swarm of skeletal rats chittering and clacking their teeth.
I forgot about the rats.
I didn't remember the rats either.
And as
Rats
you
are
all
so cool.
and as you all had kind of started to step into this room, she turned and you saw this sallow, waxy, sunken-in face turn to you, and she said, "Shh, it's waking up."
Oh, I hate it. I hate it.
And she slowly turns her head towards her work and begins concentrating again.
No.
So what are you all gonna do?
I think we decided to do a murder.
We do a murder in the murder dungeon.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I think Kaylee jumped off of my head and tried to punch her.
Yep.
Oh yeah, that was
From
the
the
very
sky.
end.
Yes, so if we're gonna do a murder. Let's do an initiative.
Yay! Murder initiative. Okay, wizard. I'm playing a lot of rogues. This will be very different.
I got an 8. Yikes.
I got a 13. Really, guys? All right.
We're gonna
Get those out of the way now.
Oh god. Oh no, I have to know my spells real quick. All right.
Oh god. How do you do? And JB got a 3. Yeah, I got
3.
Ooh, she's definitely going first.
Oh, but I
Good
got
thing we haven't done anything to her
But I
yet.
got a
right?
lucky 13.
How does she know I'm not jumping down to hug her?
Yeah.
So maybe she
Could
should
be.
just leave us alone.
Mhm. I like it.
But yeah, so and as she had turned her face again, she has not sensed your malintent, and she continues go about. Appears to be casting some sort of spell over this cadaver.
I believe last time I did an Arcana check, and I determined it was an animate dead spell,
Yes.
which is why we decided on bunches of punches.
And then you see the rats whose bones clatter on her ankles. They all sit up on their little hind legs and they turn to look towards you, and they begin immediately just like prancing through the water and coming and start scritching at your feet. Who would have been the first to step into the room?
I think I'm hiding behind Roland, so
I'm on top of Roland, so
I'm gonna go with Roland.
I'm gonna go with Roland.
I'm fine with that.
Please, yes, thank you.
Does an 18 hit your AC?
Yes.
Well, then as these rats clatter towards you, they do 6 damage.
holy shit, that's a lot.
Question.
Yeah.
Question. Is that an individual attack or is that multiple attacks?
It would, because it's a swarm, it would technically be lots of attacks from.
So it'd just be one swarm attack.
Yeah,
So I reduced that by 3 with my heavy armor master.
Nice.
Ooh,
Hell yeah.
So, but I still take 3 points of damage.
Yeah.
that's way better. 6
Mhm.
points at level 2.
And then Celeste, it is your turn.
Okay. What am I gonna do? What am I gonna do? I'm gonna do something very cool. Yes, and this is how this new wizard class works. And that will be great. Okay, so Malady reaches into her bag, and like the first thing she pulls out is this black book that has these red runes written on it for Infernal, if anybody would recognize that. And she flips open the pages of the book, and as she does so, you can see like shimmering text starts to appear on the pages. And she is going to like extend her hands and kind of close her eyes toward this woman. And I need her to make a wisdom saving throw for me.
Upping 10.
Yes. Okay. So this is my extract name ability, which is my cool new onomancy feature that I just got. So on a successful save, you discern. Oh, that the magic failed. Wait. No. No, it worked. What happens when it works? Oh, yes. On a failed save, the target is charmed by you until the end of your next turn, and you mentally learn the charmed target's name or the fact that the target lacks a name. So what is their name, pray tell?
It is Flennis. Flennis.
Okay. Flennis. Great. And so I imagine how this works is like, so Malady is like reading her dark incantations, and what she does, she actually like goes into the mind of this thing, and she hears this whisper like, tell me your name. And she says it back. I think she's compelled to say it aloud too, if you don't mind, just for flavor.
Oh yeah, no, she does. Yeah, and
Okay.
as your magic twists into her mind, she slowly turns her head again to face all of you, and just this like smoky whisper lulls out of her mouth, and you hear Flennis.
Awesome. And then for my action, in the same... So Malady repeats this in the exact same intonation and voice that Flennis, like, repeated, and she goes, Flennis, you are cursed. And she is going to cast Bane on her. Alright, so now she is under the effects of Bane, so basically for all attacks and saving throws, she has to roll a d4 and subtract that from her total.
Nice.
And that is Malady, and she's going to duck back behind Roland.
Yeah.
And that is her turn.
Nice. Kaylee, you're sitting on top of Roland's shoulders, holding a coin to illuminate the way.
Yeah. So Kaylee just takes her coin and chomps down on it with her teeth, and she just like springs up and pushes herself off of his shoulders towards this lady. And is just gonna try to just jump punch her in the face as she comes down.
Shoryuken! Very nice. I love it. Attack.
Okay, well that's a 1, but I'm a halfling, so that's fine. Okay,
Yay!
that's not a 1. That's a natural 20.
Woo!
Yeah!
Starting it off.
That's gonna be 11 points of damage. And
Ooh.
then as she is falling down, she catches herself on the table in front of her where she's working, and she just goes and tries to kick up under her chin to knock her head back with her bonus action.
Hell yeah.
So that's a 9 plus 7, so a 16 to hit.
That does hit. Yeah, this woman is wearing robes.
Fuck your robes. That's 8 points of damage.
Cool.
Wow, you just did some work for level 2.
Yeah.
I'm into it.
I love it. Is that gonna be all for you?
That's gonna be my turn.
Calvin!
Lean in.
Okay. So Calvin reaches into one of the many pockets on his apron and pulls out a two-ended vial, and he like twists it, and you hear a cracking sound, and then he throws it out towards the swarm of rats in front of Lord Roland, and I'm gonna cast Grease.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
A dex save?
Yep.
8.
Mhm.
A 7.
Oh yeah, DC is 14.
Don't forget. Oh.
DC is 14.
Yeah, I got
Yeah.
a 7.
Okay, so yeah, then they all fall prone.
Nice. All
Yeah.
right.
Yeah.
So you see these little skeletal feet just like Scooby-Doo underneath them as they're like clattering to keep up on all fours, but they're like little tarsals just like eventually slip and they like pancake out.
And then not even a second later, Roland falls down too.
Oh no! Oh, I didn't mean to catch Roland with it, but
They were in my square.
oh no! Oops. Sorry, buddy. And
Okay.
that is it for him.
Nice. All right. And Lord Roland, sadly, on the floor.
Ugh. Ugh, my back. I'm going to produce my shield, hold it out in front of me, and say, Kalimbar! And I'm going to use Turn Undead on these undead skeletal ratty guys.
Yeah.
That is a wisdom saving throw, DC 12, please.
All right. Let's see.
Don't forget to subtract Bane.
Yeah, they super don't pass.
Yes.
All right. So they have to, if the creature fails a saving throw, it is turned for 1 minute or until it takes any damage. A turned creature must spend its turn trying to move as far away from me as possible. So basically the whole swarm is just going to and run away. So Roland will get to his feet with his move action and kind of dust himself off a little bit and say, focus on the woman!
Got it.
Perfect.
Melody's eyes are glowing a little bit red, and she's just staring at this lady who's just staring back at her.
And that's it for my turn.
Nice, and you can definitely make it all the way over to her as you're sloshing through water.
Oh, I forgot the water is so gross.
Yes. And now that you all have captured her attention, she being kicked in the face and whatnot. Kaylee, she turns to you and you see this like mist that keeps oozing from the skull's mouth and eyes. And you see it, and she actually takes it and she wings it up and she brings it to hit you with it. That is gonna be a 21 to hit.
Subtract the D4.
Ooh.
I mean,
Four.
it probably won't save you, but just on principle.
A 20 to hit.
Well,
That hits.
All right, and you get smacked in the jaw for 8 damage.
Smacked in the jaw with a jaw. What a way to go.
I have cruel irony.
And then Roland, since you are rolling up on her as well, she is going to take swinging around again and attempt to mandible you as well, but she will just it will clatter cleanly off of your heavy armor. And then the rats are running away in terror.
Yay.
And Melody, what are you gonna do now?
Okay, so she's not charmed by me anymore, but she's still under the effects of the bane. So that's concentration. Okay, that's concentration. So I will go ahead and do a... How's she looking? Does she look like... I mean, I know she already looked dead, but like, does she look concerned at all, or is she just like, fuck off?
Not particularly.
Oh, rude. Okay, then I will go ahead and, you know what, instead of getting in there myself, because I'm a wizard, I am going to go ahead and send Waldo forward. He's still invisible, and I'm basically going to have him run and jump on her, and I am going to use him to cast Shocking Grasp.
Nice. Awesome.
So, let me go ahead. I roll for that. Oh, she's not wearing any metal, huh? Robes.
She is not.
Her nasty terry cloth getting all soggy. Okay, that'll be a 19 to hit.
Oh, that definitely does.
Hell yeah. Okay, so here we go. Ooh, 8 lightning damage. That's what we like to see. And she cannot take reactions until the start of her next turn.
Nice.
And I'm gonna walk back further down the hallway. I want to basically be at the point we turned into the room so I can, like, duck.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Beautiful, beautiful. Kaylee.
Having been smacked, she just kind of wipes her face where it hit her, and she just goes in for 2 more punches.
Punches of punches.
Okay. So that's going to be a 15 to hit.
Oh, that does it.
Oh, and that's just 6 points of damage. And then bonus action.
She's definitely looking... She doesn't really bleed, but she's now a bouquet of bruises, as you all have been clamoring her.
A bouquet of bruises. That's like me every day.
And that's a 16 to hit.
Oh, yes.
Clumsy life.
And that's going to be 8 more points of damage. And then seeing her kind of like jolt with electricity, I'm going to like take a few steps back from her.
Nice. Calvin, what you gonna do?
So Calvin sees Kaylee, take a few steps back, and he reaches behind his back and unslings what looks like just kind of a large block with a bunch of crap sticking out the sides of it, different size gears and widgets, and he slaps a few of them, and parts of it spring out into a crossbow, and he's gonna take a shot at her.
Cool.
Nice.
That will be a 17 to hit.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Where do you shoot her that lands this killing blow?
In the face.
Eyeball!
Yeah. So he takes aim and he fires the bolt. And it hits her square in the forehead. And Calvin just looks as surprised as anybody else that he landed such a clean shot. And that's it.
Very nice. And so she clatters to the ground. You hear the tiny bones of the rat almost as they just kind of like clatter to the ground as if they're no longer animate. And before you, lying on a big stone like slab, is this cadaver. And there are let me look at my handy dandy dungeon map. Along the south wall there are 2 archways that continue further south, and then towards the very bottom of the east wall is another pathway that continues east. And there is a dead necromancer on the floor, who is a CR4, by the way.
I would like to search her body and the room for cool things that Melody might want.
Fantastic. Give me an investigation check.
Okay. Yes, pretty good at those. Only a 14 though.
So on her, you find, first of all, her spellbook that is sitting on the table next to the cadaver.
Don't mind if I do.
Whoop, whoop, whoop. And has all of her spells that she's prepared for today, which I can tell you during break.
Okay.
And then she has the weapon that she was using is a silver skull flail, which was the instrument she was wielding.
Oh, wait. Oh, I can't. I'm a wizard. Damn it.
And then there is in her hair, you managed to find a lock that unlocks her spellbook. There's like
cool. Like in a nasty tangle? There's just
and a nice nasty fucking dreadlock.
I love it. And Melody is like, oh, interesting.
And yes, that is what you find.
Melody picks up everything and looks back at everyone, is like, oh,
I just want to be able to take a look at the book too.
Okay, but I'll hold on to it just in case, if you don't. I mean, and it's
Yeah,
already
you can
like
hold on to it for now. Yeah, that's totally fine. I know you'll just, show it to me when we get back to wherever.
Uh-huh.
Cool.
Okay, so which way should we go?
Would you say that a silver skull flail is a monk weapon?
Does that qualify?
Just like
Is a,
curious.
is a flail a monk weapon?
No,
I
no,
don't think so.
no.
I mean, you would definitely be sending out some serious vibes if you go around swinging this thing. People are gonna raise some eyebrows for sure.
Malady just wants it to hold and like intimidate
can't hear you.
people.
You
Didn't
look
they
good holding
skin
it.
The something as
Thanks.
nunchucks as a monk weapon. Did they have something like that in the PHB? I thought I remembered something like that, but I could be
maybe.
wrong.
No, the skull's probably the size of half of me anyway. So
It
Yeah.
is a human-sized skull.
Yeah.
Malady is like holding it to like look really menacing, but has clearly never held a flail in her life, and it's just sort of like she like whacks herself in the knee, and she's like, "Oh, Jesus!" No. Okay, here, Roland, I got you a present. So for the
you're
I
muted.
muted.
Mm.
Oh no, we can't
Oh, no.
hear you. Oh, secrets.
Okay.
All right. Yeah, Roland is now holding the.
Adjusted the mic like you told me to.
Oh, but you put it so quiet. That's good now.
Well, you told me a lot.
Yeah. Okay.
You're perfect now.
Yeah, Roland's like wringing water out of his cloak and his clothes. He's like, I am detestably dirty. Ugh. Yes, I can make use of that. Thank you.
Mhm, yeah.
He'll
Malady.
take it and kind of flip it over his shoulder.
Yeah, I'm
He's
like,
fixing his clothes.
yeah. Yeah, Malady is trying. She's doing the thing you do when you have mud on your boots, like on the edge of this like dead body platform, and trying to get some mud off her hooves.
Just scraping mud like a
We
woman.
searched the
I
cadaver
can
too.
help you guys with that. Just hold still for a second. And he reaches into another pocket in his apron and he
Why?
pulls out
What?
this
What are you doing?
handkerchief that has very intricate embroidery all throughout it. And he begins to like wipe at your cloak. And I'm gonna cast Prestidigitation, the best cantrip ever,
Very
to
nice.
clean everything.
Malady, at first,
better?
like, first impulse is to flinch away from you, and like her hand like smacks down towards where her purse would be, and she's like, "Oh, oh."
Perhaps we should get out of this knee-deep water before we clean ourselves.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Do any of the passageways lead out of the water? Out of curiosity. Oh, sorry. You need to lean in a little more.
Oh,
Yeah.
sorry. Can you hear me?
Yeah.
Okay, perfect. So from what you can tell, so they're the two that are going to the south. If you look to the one that's to the farmost right when you're like facing them, you can kind of see down a hall where it looks like it goes back up to dry ground again, but it looks at all the way like going to the east. You just see water for as far as you can see.
Should we go down the one with no water?
Dude, probably.
I'm a fan of that for logistics reasons for me.
Yeah, that sounds good.
All right, so we're gonna go the westmost south door or archway.
Yes, the southwest one.
The
Yeah.
south
So, okay, good.
Westist,
Could not get
southest,
any
north
more
I
we
was
can
like,
find.
we go right.
Yeah. So you go down. You can see that. Well, as soon as you step through this like short hallway, you can go left and you can go right. When you look to your left, you can see it connects to the other archway from where you came, from the room that you just came from. And so you can see as you look to your right, the hallway turns and curves down more to the south.
Got it.
You look in the one loop before we proceed, or should we just go?
Yeah, pop down the loop. Make
Yeah.
sure there's nobody like creeping around after us.
Okay. So you come to. Yes. So you come to where you can either turn right or keep following this kind of curve down. A curve that is slowly curving towards the west.
So I think we're gonna go towards the where the other archway.
I mean,
led
sorry, to the east. Okay. So as you're walking down, you'd make a right. you see there's a short hallway that opens into another room that is very barely lit. Like you can barely see like light coming from the other side, like far into the other side of the room.
Oh, like there's something like a torch over there, or like under a door or something.
Like there's like the only light in the room is a small torch that's way on the other side of the room, and like all the room before it is very dark.
Okay, so can people with hell vision? Yeah. Oh yeah.
Oh yeah, you all have dark vision.
We all have. Oh, except for Roland
and me.
And okay.
Oh, never mind.
I've got a coin.
But yes,
if you feel safe in going, go ahead. We can take up the rear.
Clear, right?
Does it look clear? When we look at the darkness, does anything look back at us?
Nightmare fuel.
So you see just the rough shadows of two figures standing over some kind of altar.
Way's not clear.
Okay. Should we just kill them? I'm fine with that.
It seems like they might not be up to any good, but is there going to be a lot of killing involved in this job?
Cultists. Yes.
Yeah, they're murdering people. I mean, if that makes you feel any better. You know, we're just returning. Yeah.
Okay.
Returning a favor, really.
Okay.
I'm going to. Oh no, I don't have firebolt. What? What kind of wizard am I?
I'm confused.
As you're standing here, debating whether you should go in or kill them or not, you hear the cackle of a woman, and you hear the crack of a whip. And a scream of pain.
Oh, boy. From the altar?
Yeah.
Cool. That's not great. I'm gonna chill touch the one holding the whip. Because apparently I was like, oh, a theme or whatever. That's fine.
Chill touch. Neither cold nor touch.
All right.
Correct. But
all right. So you're doing it. Let's go ahead and roll initiative again.
Okay. But can I get a supplies on her, please?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So you have surprised them.
All right. So I got a dirty 20. And
Did you get JB?
Oh,
I got a 19.
Oh, sorry.
JB,
That was my to hit. I will roll my initiative now.
Oh, okay.
14 for Melody.
What did you get, Calvin?
Got a 8.
Super.
Yeah. I'm a rock star.
Kaylee. And then what did you get, Lord Roland?
A
natural 20.
Ooh.
And let's see what they gonna do. Okay.
Cry. Surrender. I can give you more options.
All right, so you reach out your chillish touch towards them, and you got a 20 to hit.
Yes, a dirty 20.
Nice.
And then so Malady whips out that book again and starts reading some of the text that glows faintly in the darkness, again in that red infernal. And yeah, a spectral demonic hand comes forward and like flies towards this person with the whip, and like goes and like kind of wraps around their throat. And they're gonna take 6 necrotic damage. They cannot regain hit points until the start of my next turn, and until then, my freaky hand is just hanging out, just doing a choke. Since this kind of feels like a BDSM room, so there you go.
Lean into it.
Right.
There you go.
As you have made this choice, and you've reached out your touching hand.
Yes.
All of you, now that you're really now studying this room and starting to clamber into it. Yeah, you see the part in front of you where you're basically standing now is totally unlit, and you're in this rough-hewn wall. And there's a small set of steps that lead to a dais where you see these two hooded figures. And this, now that you can have moved into the scene, you see that chained to the wall is this bloody man who you just see just this whip marks all over his body. And these two hooded figures, one is the woman who you heard cackling, and she's holding this long curved dagger, and she has these scars that stretch from the corners of her lips. And you see another kind of grim bald man with no hair, no eyebrows, and totally just it looks like flesh just barely stretched over his skeleton. Yes.
Cool.
And Lord Roland, you are now the first to act on our regular round.
I just kind of run forward. Kaylee, are you still on my head?
If this area has water, then yes.
No, this area.
Okay,
is
so
dry.
I would be leaving you behind. Yeah, I charge forward with my warhammer in hand, and will turn my attention since Malady did away with this other crone so deftly. I'll turn my attention to this person with flesh peeled over their bones, and I'm going to attack.
Yes, he's the one that is holding the whip. The woman just has a long fuck off dagger.
Natural
It's
20.
That's two this
Yes.
game.
I
How's it
know,
feel,
our
Sage?
first attacks.
It feels amazing, and I revel in it.
Crazy. And this is one-handed, so these are going to be a D8s. 17 points of bludgeoning damage.
Shit.
Olay.
Ha! What?
Oh my god, you just as you swing your hammer into him, and you just see the force of your blow just completely just destroys his rib cage. And you see this as like, and then it's like, oh yeah. Blood
I'm like
starts
pushing
to-
it away from me. And I will try to, without leaving his melee range, I'll try to position myself between him and the person that he was whipping. I don't know if
Yeah.
he stays up or not, but I still get in that spot.
Yeah, totally. All right, sweet. Now that you have interrupted their fun, they are very mad. And the one holding the whip, he's going to turn and he's going to attack you. Does a 17 hit?
Misses.
All right, now the woman who you had seen brandishing this dagger suddenly disappears before you.
Jerk.
Big old jerks. Kaylee.
Yeah, I think Kaylee just goes charging in after him, and at this point she once again has produced the coin to illuminate the rest of the room and just stuck it in her teeth, and she just runs up to this guy who is way above her, and she just nut punches him.
That's gonna be a signature, huh?
Yeah, you know, you gotta take advantage of this height.
I sensed
Yeah.
it.
That's a 24 to hit.
Mm-hmm.
And that is 9 points of damage.
You feel the insides of his scrotum just splatter onto your hands, and he pukes a little bit and then just drops to the floor.
I say again.
So
Oh god.
Kaylee felt the give at the uppercut, and she knew that he was going down. So she just turns and just kind of like skitters through Lord Roland's legs and says, "Don't worry." She's just gonna like stand kind of like underneath him, like at the go.
What a fucking power move.
Why does Kaylee move like a little badger? I love it.
Boxing.
She's just amped at all
In your
times.
burrow.
how people punch, right? Everybody in the world.
Oh my.
Well done, I say.
Stupendous.
I'm the
Melody.
most safe cod piece in the world. Don't worry about your nuts. I'm protecting this area.
Oh, what does Melody think and do as all of this unfolds before you?
Melody, like when this happened, Melody like saw it and went like, and then like just went to reading her spell book like, what is going on? Okay, so the guy is down. Is he like out of the fight, or is he gonna get back up again? Bless his heart.
You you suspect that he is down for the count, and the other woman has seemingly vanished.
What a jerk! Can't. Oh crap! What can I do? I'm so low level. How do you invisible?
Can I use one of the infusions that I unlocked when we hit level 2?
On your turn?
Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Yeah.
That's fair.
It's next.
Okay.
Great.
I'm gonna do it then.
Cool. Melody is going to hide because she can't see this person. And she is also going to go ahead and cast Minor Illusion just to kind of make a piece of wall that she's just chilling behind
Nice.
it.
Okay,
Just making
cool.
the darkness a little bit more dark around her.
Mhm.
You know, that sort of Minor Illusion shit.
Just whoop,
So I'm going to make a hide check.
make it with advantage.
Hell yeah. Cool. So 16 on the die. What hide is stealth? That's what it is. So 19.
I wasn't even thinking about it. Yes, you're right. Stealth.
I know. Fuck. I
It's
know.
been a long week.
Yes, indeed.
Yeah, you feel you are very well obscured. You're confident in your ability.
Great. I close my book so the glowing doesn't give me away, and I'm gonna let my companions deal with it.
Very nice. Calvin, now you may use your thing.
Right. So I'm gonna use one of my infusions that I unlocked to replicate a lantern of revealing. So he reaches into yet another pocket in his apron full of pockets and pulls out what looks like a collapsible cup. But he unscrews the top and pops it open, and there's thin strips of paper around this lantern.
Mm-hmm.
And he reaches inside and flicks the spark wheel to ignite it. So it kicks off light in dim light for 30 feet, bright light for another 30 feet, and reveals invisible creatures and objects.
Oh, look at that thing made for this situation.
Mhm.
So revealed before you,
Oh,
it
no.
or
What?
one of you roll a d4.
Oh,
I have those. I'm a monk.
okay.
3.
Roland, right behind you, and now Kaylee is a manically gleeful woman whose now black bladed dagger glints in the light.
He's behind you.
Whoa!
That's
Turn around!
impossible. I've been standing here. Ah!
Hell yeah.
You see here, what you go? Is it an action?
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
Anything else you can do on your turn?
Let's see. No, I really don't want to get any closer to this mean lady. You all got that. So yeah, he's happy hanging out. I got her. She's right there.
Hey, everybody
Put her
say
in a
that.
body bag.
Yep.
Yep. Here we go.
Yep. That's a lady. Yep. That's what she is.
She's gonna stab you.
Mm.
You better do something about it.
Lord
yeah.
Roland.
So I just kind of turn and I see that she's managed to magically appear between me and this half-flayed man. And I'll just kind of turn, and as I turn, sweep out with this warhammer. Since I know Kaylee's too short for me to hit, I kind of just swing with abandon. Ah! 18 to hit.
That certainly does.
6 damage.
Woo!
Twink. How did you get here? I say.
The darkness is so giving.
Ew. And gross.
Ew, I don't like her. I'm uncomfortable.
Haley, she has no testicles.
Oh no!
What will you do?
I can't.
Aim for the knees.
You don't know that. You don't know what's in her robes.
That is true. Madam, it was rude of me to assume.
I'm sorry.
Anything else for you, JB?
No, that's going to be it. Sorry.
Excellent. Well, now that you have hit her, she seems much sturdier than the other gentleman. Not fearing that her position is being revealed, she is going to lunge in with her dagger towards your sides and miss.
Yay.
You managed to, yeah. She had just had to duck. Was trying to avoid your swing and miscalculated her attack. And Kaylee, you are now standing there with her.
Yeah, so Kaylee just whirls around like right after Roland and sees her try to jab him with her dagger, and she's just like, right, kneecaps, and just like 1-2 right in the kneecap.
Hell yeah.
Okay, so that's an 11 on the first one.
That will unfortunately miss.
Right, and then my second one was a dirty 20.
Mm-hmm.
And that is going to be 7 points of damage to the kneecap.
Kneecaps! You see her knees buckle.
Just as an update, everyone, I have allowed the use of uppercut in the chat since that is a signature Venture Maidens move, patented as of last episode. So that's what it is. You're awesome, New. You got this.
If I finish her, that's the move.
Finish him.
Yeah.
It'll be the first time she's ever been finished in her life.
Oh!
Oh.
Whoa! Life of crime indeed.
Ooh.
And why is she so happy?
Oh, good.
Melody.
Melody again just tries to pretend nothing is happening and is just looking at her book. So she is going to go ahead and flick out her hand and send Waldo back over to jump on this woman.
Nice.
And I'm going to Shocking Grasp again because wizards, I forgot how few spell slots they have at second level. I only have one left, so this is fun. I didn't realize the naming feature used a spell slot, so I was like, ooh.
Oh.
Yeah, I was like, this is very powerful, and now I understand why. Okay, so to hit will be a 23.
Yes, certainly.
All right, and so, like, little Waldo just, like, and, like, scurries up her back and, like, digs in his claws, and like, all of a sudden there's lightning from this invisible thing. So that is going to be 5 lightning damage.
Lightning!
Yeah, and as a reminder, she cannot take reactions until the start of her next turn.
And you go back to reading your book.
Yeah, pretending I don't exist. Constantly.
Calvin.
Okay. Calvin's gonna set down. He takes a knee and sets down the lantern, and then pulls out his crossbow again. And since he is apparently a sniper extraordinaire, he's gonna work that magic again. Or maybe not. That's a 14 to hit.
That just misses as your bolt flinks up into the wall next to the person who's been shackled.
Well, at least it didn't hit them.
That would be unfortunate.
That's such a Calvin response. Ooh,
Yeah.
goodness.
Oh, gotta be a little bit more careful. Okay. And then he's gonna move over towards where try to circle around to where the guy's chained up.
Cool. And Lord Roland.
I will retaliate in turn as she kind of stabs out ineffectively at me since she hasn't moved. And I'll be like, you dare stand against me? And since I'm not a fighter, I can't just swing twice with my man body, but I can use divinity to swing twice.
Yay!
I'm using my war priest
Praise be.
feature.
You have to
making
ask
2
your
attack
god
rolls.
if it's okay to double
Basically,
tap.
only 2 a day. So, he's not a big fan of swinging multiple turns, but 21 to hit.
That definitely does.
And the second hit is a 22. So both
Oh
hit.
boy.
Sweet.
19 points of bludgeoning damage.
Oh, how do you destroy this woman?
I'll just bat at her the one time, and she takes a stumbled step backwards. And Kaylee's still working on those legs, so she's trying to like shuffle her feet.
You also hear
And
like from the back as it falls.
she turns her head and just bring the warhammer straight down on top of her dome and crumple her onto the ground. I think that's done it.
Yes.
Woohoo!
I nudge her
Dead
with my boot.
cultist. She moves only to your touch and lies there listlessly.
Are you
Let's
all
get
right,
that guy
Kaylee?
down. Oh, I'm just fine. He's not though, so we should help him. And she kind of goes over to where Calvin is.
Calvin's, looking at the manacles.
Oh, and the man he just slowly, just barely lifts his head to look at you. Oh, please help me. I believe that gentleman had the key. He's the one that put me up here. Oh God, it hurts so bad. Please get me down.
Okay, just to be clear, is this some kind of weird kink situation? Because if not, I don't really want to let you go. That kind of weirds me out.
No, I certainly did not consent to this.
Roland kind of starts. I thought you were dead. And you
Kaylee-
still called him gentleman? Yes. I approve, sir.
You actually would recognize this individual, Roland, being of noble birth.
Ooh.
You know that he is one of the kids of the House Jasso, but he's just like, he's a nobody in this house. He's just like one in a dozen kids.
Mm.
Yeah.
I knew you had noble blood, sir. Are you all right? I kind of go over and I'm like holding him up. Find the key quickly. Look at his wrists. He's hurt.
Oh
Kaylee
my
scurries
God.
to go get the key and I assume finds it, and she goes to like unlock the manacles. She's just reaching. She's like, all right, no, somebody else has got to take this one. This ain't me.
I'll
I
pluck it
got
out of
it.
your
I
leg.
got it.
Yeah, Calvin, yeah.
Yeah, while this is happening, Malady doesn't care and is trying to find if there's a spell book or anything else interesting that she can steal from these people.
Other than the key ring has 8 keys on it.
Ooh.
What about that sweet ass dagger?
It is technically a regular dagger, but just looks fucking metal.
Well, I'm gonna like throw away my my dagger. I'm just gonna throw it and like behind me and pick up this one instead.
Yeah, it looks awesome.
Yeah, I'm gonna write down awesome darkness dagger.
You see that there's also a shield on the ground that is it has a skull on it that has been freshly drenched in blood.
I just leave it.
I don't want that.
I can't use that.
Yes, and on the altar that the two of them were standing by, there is a small figurine of the god Baal. You recognize as one of the many depictions that have been here in this wonderful place.
Does it look like I could sell it for money?
Maybe.
I'm gonna take it.
How's that backpack looking?
Encumbrance.
It's fine. I do the same thing that Celeste does in RPG games, where I pick up everything and I just throw things away. Like as I add one, I just throw something else on, and so there's just a trail of shit
Really the only way
behind
to
me.
live.
Totally.
I mean, I do it in real life.
Exactly. And so as you undo the keys, and he falls just collapses into your embrace, Roland, and he says, "Oh yes, I will ensure that you all receive a hefty reward for my return. My mother will surely be missing me."
Let's not oversell. Okay. Yes. I kind of take him over to the altar so he has something to lean on. And do a little bit of tending his wounds. I'm not casting any spells or anything. I'm not wasting it on him. He's lower house.
Yeah,
But
you make him feel better. He says, "Oh yes, thank you. You are such kind spirits in this terrible place."
Okay.
Oh.
know if anyone else is down here. Innocent, I mean.
Innocent, I'm not sure, but these things have just been clattering through this area all night, sloshing through water like hogs. Ugh, they're also despicable. So there must be other people down here somewhere. Other people of as noble birth and as importance as I am.
Again, don't oversell things. Just reel it in a little. Yes, my lord.
Oh,
God.
Do you think that you can make it out on your own, or should I have to carry you back?
I don't know how to get out. This place is a labyrinth.
I have a piece of parchment right here. Hold on. And I kind of start drawing
Drawing a little
directions.
out
In this
map.
this big loopy script. I'm telling him left at the bone door with the corpses on it. Played through the vestigial disgusting.
Yeah, and he's like, "Oh yes, okay. Yes, perhaps if I sat a few minutes. Do you have another set of clothes?" And he motions to his body, which he's just wearing a loincloth.
I actually do. I have 3 sets of fine clothes.
People are giving me shit about my backpack.
one of my shirts would work as a
Do you have a belt, perhaps, so I could rein it in?
Yes, I have some silk rope as well. Let us fashion you a shawl.
Thank you so much.
And I'm hastily doing all of this. Oh, of course. I can't believe they treat you this way.
Melody is just like, oh my god. Looking around.
Tell me, what are your names so that I can reward you later?
I'm Kaylee Bramblebarrel.
I'm Calvin Coleridge. You're really good at that. Wow, Lord Roland. Way to improvise.
I mean, look at him. He knows his fashion.
I'm impressed.
What's your name? Melody's eyes grow a little bigger.
Oh, my name is Klim Jasso.
Klim Jasso. And she says it, and as she says it again, she repeats the intonation and the accent exactly. Which is sort of unnerving.
That. Just
well,
fine.
the good news is, Klim, once you get up there, you can get a massage. So that's nice. Well,
And medical treatment.
And a bath.
Probably not in that order, if I had to guess.
I'm not a doctor.
And he takes the parchment from you, just just can't even be bothered to do anything. Well, thank you for all you've done. I guess I'll be on my way then.
When we leave this place, I will come and check on you personally, my lord.
Thank you.
Please.
You will find our manor house in the upper city.
Oh, of course. Yes.
And he just makes such a show of getting up and just dragging his legs through the room and just Just like as if he's expecting you to be like, oh no, we'll escort you out. But you can see that he's just giving such a performance.
Malady,
Kaylee's just waving the whole time.
Yeah. Malady gives a quick scan if he has a coin purse or anything valuable she can pickpocket off this idiot.
Oh no,
His loincloth.
Hey man, I don't know.
Strip him naked and whip him on the wall.
At this
Meta-
point, it's just a
Meta
matter
and
of principle.
Yeah, meta and super out of game. Can we have Heronius take him up to the top since Naseem's not here?
Oh.
And then
yes. Oh
catch
man,
up
I
with us
forgot.
later?
I forgot. Yes.
Perfect.
I had forgotten to tell you why Heronius wasn't there.
So
Yes,
Heronius
Heronius
is like,
does this.
Okay, yeah, no, I was like needed some fresh air
What?
anyway.
Yeah.
Getting late again wasn't.
Take a smoke break.
Oh, is Heronius gonna bang this guy? Probably. What a stud.
He's gonna have a threesome and with him and the massage therapist up on the table.
I believe you.
Oh, Lord.
Clem would be the worst at a threesome. He would do literally nothing.
Take me.
Oh dear.
Yes. So yes, this is the end of the tunnel where you are that led into this room. So there is only the way back. There doesn't seem to be anything else interesting in here.
Clem's kind of out of earshot.
Just
I
the
just
room.
mumble.
Hmm?
I was just gonna say I just mumble under my breath about worthless.
On the edges of society, practically useless, like a babe. Even worse than a babe, they have an excuse. Of
I actually agree with you.
course you
Yeah.
do.
Yeah.
Well then.
I'm indifferent, but at least he's not a cultist.
Well,
He did have that going for
That
him.
is what makes you so agreeable.
I'm told that a lot.
so
Agreeable.
does anybody wonder what exactly we're doing here? I mean, this looks like a temple to Baal, and then that first room we were in, was there any iconography with the woman?
There was not.
Okay. Oh, but that first
There
room.
was the 3 doors.
All Bane
Oh, yeah.
and their cool.
Oh yeah, in the big
three-
4-way
The
intersection
dead
that you went through.
3, yeah.
Yeah, what was the horrible name that started with an M that I can't remember? That was
Mercule.
Merkel.
that
I thought it was Merkel.
Murky.
Yeah, Merkel was the door to the south, which you haven't explored yet in that big 4-way intersection. So yeah, to the north was Bane.
Oh yeah, so we're just chilling in the Baal section right now.
Yeah, yes. Or no, no, to the north. Sorry, to the north was Baal, to the east was Bane, where you have gone through.
Oh, we're in.
That man's death is ironic
Saying-
now.
So wait, so I have a statue of Bane, or I have a statue of Baal?
Ball.
Out of murder.
So there was a Baal statue in the Bane room.
Oh.
Yeah. Everything's a Bane.
Saying chilling in the ball section makes
Ball.
it sound like a blockbuster. Like just hanging out.
I mean, there's also a man with smashed testicles in this room, so like, wow, this really is the Baal section.
I like a theme.
A ball pit, if you will.
Oh,
Only-
baby.
We only have one more branch to clear before we excise this rot from the city.
Okay.
Back through the small hallway, there's the left passage that goes to the north towards the room with the necromancer, or south towards you haven't explored yet.
The room was a big pool of water we saw.
Yeah, to the east of the room with the necromancer was a whole lot of water.
Do we want to do the curve down then?
Yeah, I think you're the map maker, so you should make all of our decisions, Katie.
Oh, I do have a drawing right now.
I started and then I looked at my drawing from last week and I was like, why? And then I looked at the one Sage sent us and I was like, I don't know. So
What is
so please, Katie, tell us what to do, please. Thank you.
Yeah.
And since Kaylee's really trying to keep her bearings in this room, you would know that of how far that you have gone west, there isn't any connecting towards that southern door that you haven't gone through in the 4-way intersection. So like you're like underneath it. If that makes sense.
Okay.
So there's a section from that south door that you haven't explored yet that doesn't connect to anything over here.
Okay. Well, we can either peek into the water room and just see what's going on, or we can just go along the curve.
I mean, there's some pretty good shit to steal here, so if you want to look in other rooms, that's fine.
Okay, well, let's take a peek into the water room and see if it's something we want to explore further.
Yeah, so you
Okay.
curve up towards the north. You come it now like it like curves up north and then like goes east, and you see there's a room with necromancy with those 2 archways leading out into this little hallway. If you curve over towards the east archway that was in that room with the necromancer, you see it leads to let's see. You see it leads into this large rectangular room, and the smell of this room, it smells like rotten eggs, and it is just putrid.
Red.
And
Hey, here, everybody. Take these. And he reaches into another pocket in his apron, and he pulls out a bunch of kerchiefs, and he's gonna knot the ends of them and pass them all out to you, and I'm going to make them all emit a pleasant odor of sage and herbs. So if you put it over your mouth, it'll cover the rotten egg smell.
I hold it like, and I'm like, okay.
Kaylee smells it, and then she's like, "Can mine smell like cookies?"
Yeah, I can do that. Does anybody else want cookies too?
No.
Yeah.
Kaylee just puts it around her head, and she's like,
What about like pine needles? Do you like that?
No. I don't really like outside.
What do you
How about
like?
old books?
Gross. This is fine. And she looks at Kaylee and
Okay,
she's like,
fine. Tough
nothing. I
tease.
don't like anything. And she just looks at you.
A leather coin purse.
I would like to insight check.
Gotcha.
See if this is all like an emo farce. That is a 19.
I got a natural 20 on my deception, so I'm just stone cold faced looking at you as I say that.
Kaylee's like hair on her arm stands up, and she's like, "Okay."
Oh my.
Yeah, well-oiled leather for you, Lord Roland.
Oh, thank you, Master Coleridge. I appreciate this.
Oh, you're welcome, my lord. What about bubble gum? How's about that, Malady?
She doesn't like anything. She
I-
really
yeah.
doesn't.
I roll
Alright.
my eyes and I walk into the room.
Okay, well, fine. You don't get one.
So as you walk in, you see that there is a passage leading towards the south and one leading off towards the west. And the one leading off towards the south seems to be going steps up into dry hallway again. Whereas the one to the east. Where the one to the east is still soaked in water.
I gotta tell you, I think my map is wrong, guys. That doesn't make sense for what I'm doing.
Going
I like-
east or south, just choose. It's fine.
I want to go towards the dry.
South? Which was that?
Try it is.
That was south, I think.
South.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, and as you head up to the stairs into the nice dry land, it curves back towards the west, and you have to step up another set of stairs where you see wrong page. Where you see this dry, partially collapsed room contains a stone altar with humanoid skulls and bones piled around it. The top of the altar is covered with dozens of half-melted candles made of black wax, all currently unlit.
Cute.
and then you see that it continues off towards the west down a hallway.
I'd like to investigate this altar.
Okay.
Check it out.
How are you investigating it?
Lean in to the mic.
He's gonna walk up to it and sort of look around, and then he's gonna take his poking stick out again that he was poking the dead bodies with last time. And he's gonna kind of move some things around, shuffle some bones off the top of the altar, look for inscriptions or hieroglyphics.
As you do so, you don't see anything. Nothing. The skulls clatter to the ground. The tip of the stick gets covered in wax.
Are the candles? So there's wax all over the top of the altar. Are the candles lit or
the candles are unlit? It's just dozens of these black candles that are all half melted, so their wax is dripping down the altar.
Okay.
And like over the skulls and everything.
Okay. If you guys have time, I can see if there's any arcane energy around this thing.
Sure. I mean, I've got time as long as something's not trying to kill me. Just hang out.
All right.
Yeah. Cool. Does this room still smell?
This room does not.
Oh, so it was like just that hallway we went through?
It was just that big rectangular room that you had stepped into.
And there's nothing in that room.
Nope.
So why did it smell?
You
Something shoved
could
an
have
egg
made a
salad
survival
sandwich.
check.
That I wouldn't do that. Malady hates camping.
Well, there you go.
Well, there it is, says the
there-
DM.
There's your answer.
Okay, Malady isn't curious. Celeste is curious. Sorry.
I'd like to cast Detect Magic. That's a ritual.
Red. So how's it that you cast Detect? What does it look like? What does Calvin do for his ritual?
So for Detect Magic, he reaches into one of the many pockets in his fanny packs that he has multiples of, and pulls out a few little like tripod things. They look like oversized caltrops, but they have lots of extra gears and wheels that rotate on the top spike where a spike would be. And he sort of scatters them around the room and then runs along all of them and spins all of the wheels on top. And he runs around the room in like a circuit to get all of the tops of these things spinning at the same time. And then he flips a lens over his monocle and observes.
Malady leaves the room. She doesn't want any part of this.
This is science!
Yeah, I don't want that.
None of that, please.
Goodbye.
Yeah,
I'll wait
What
in
do the discs
I'll wait in the
do?
stink room.
Are you sure this isn't the stink room too? No. And so as you flip the lens on your monocle, you, as you attune to this sort of arcane energy in this room, you are your consciousness is just immediately steeped in blackness as you just see this oozing miasma of necrotic energy all around you. And on one of the walls you see the glimmers of some kind of enchantment, and as well as the candles, they have an aura of illusion and necromancy.
Okay. So
And
John-
all of the bones are also have tendrils of necrotic energy.
Okay. Calvin's hair like dims kind of and retracts, and the color like drains from his face a little bit. There's some seriously bad stuff in here, y'all.
Yeah, there's bad stuff everywhere.
Oh, this is like extra bad. You should know about this stuff, right, Malady? This seems like your kind of deal.
I'm sorry, what do you think my deal is?
Spooky dark magic. Come on.
Can you be more specific?
Necromancy?
Cool.
Enchantment?
Paige, can I make a religion check? Let's see what might be going on with this altar.
Absolutely.
I
So
will
helpful.
I will also make an arcana check based on those few clues I'm getting.
Yeah, definitely.
Okay.
21.
Nice.
18 plus 3.
Okay. And maladies. Oh man. I went down a spell hole. I'm popping back out. Oh, 19 on my arcana check.
So between Lord Roland and Malady putting their heads together, the things for religion, what comes to mind is, you are in the Dungeon of the Dead 3. There's obviously, you saw a cultist of Merkel trying to animate a dead body. So you see here now hearing about, that the cult of Merkel is very dedicated to harnessing the undead and undead energies. And so when Malady was thinking of playing off that, you immediately think of like, if probably there's some sort of trigger to animate these skeletons.
Cool. In a way that I think would be helpful, or that would be harmful.
It's an evil cult, like.
But if like I started it, could I control them? Like that sort of. Malady wants to control all the skeletons is the basic line, and would like that very much.
You're guessing that generally the purpose of animating dead is to control them. So.
Okay. Can you, with your science or whatever you're doing, do you see any kind of trigger or specific artifact that like is hidden? You said there's illusion. I don't know. Can you stick your lean in? What?
Illusion and enchantment too. But the wall over there, and then all the candles.
Okay.
Yeah. Enchantment magic or an illusion on the wall.
Huh. All right.
Over here, and he walks over towards it.
Oh. Roland?
Huh?
What's Roland saying?
That was me, JB, saying, do you light the candles to do something with the corpses? But if you start talking about an illusion on the wall, I'll go over and like tap, tap, tap.
Yeah.
Make sure the wall's actually real. Like, illusion over here.
It feels solid.
It feels solid. Illusion. Science has failed you again.
Whoa.
Yeah, Malady, okay. Fuck it. She's curious. She's gonna start like poking around. She wants to see if there's a way to control these skeletons. So yeah, she's looking at the candle. She's touching things. She's like seeing if there's a hidden compartment. So maybe make an investigation to like see if I can.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, make it. So I'm gonna tell you, with your investigation and knowing what to look for, you don't find anything like within the candles or some sort of like trigger. Yeah, it's just bones and candles.
So I think that maybe someone else in the dungeon has a way to activate this, maybe? And the wall, can I feel any keyholes where maybe the key ring might?
Nope.
Malady's like, ugh, whatever, it's not working. Let's just go.
I'm working.
It's like, fine, their shit is secret, whatever. I'm gonna like kick the wall with my hoof.
Well, that's okay. Don't worry about them. You'll get them next time.
She like spins her head around. She's like, I'm not worried about anything.
Okay.
So yes, there's a passage, the long hallway that continues very far west. Actually, it's close enough that you can see that this hallway leads into the room where you had fought the two cultists. And then along midway through this big long hallway is a passageway that turns to the south.
Map maker Katie.
I was gonna say Kaylee.
Katie.
Yeah, so you can either, this leads right back to where you fought the two cultists with Klim strapped to the wall, or you can dip down to the east. I mean, sorry, to the south. Sorry, to the south.
Right. Let's not go back where we were. Let's go south.
South, away from Stinky Room.
Away from Stinky Room, away from skeletons.
I do like the skeletons, but not the Stinky.
Spooky, scary skeletons.
As you step into this room, it's a small, like, 10 by 10 foot room. A large rat kind of scurries across the floor in front of you. And you see that to the west continues a very, very long hallway that turns to this rough-hewn cavern that where it dips back down to where there is water again.
Okay, for just real quick, I just want to use chill touch and kill the rat because it might be a spy. Melody explains after she strangles it with her spectral hand.
And it curls into a ball on the floor.
Good job.
Thanks.
Mm-hmm.
Go with Kellenvor. My friend.
Are you talking to the rat? Yeah, Melody's like, what?
All life has purpose.
Okay, well, you didn't say that the guy she smashed in the balls, so...
He creeped me out. The rat didn't do anything.
Okay. After you! She holds her hands out for Roland to go in front.
We're continuing down this hallway.
Hell yeah.
All right. So it leads into about like a 20 foot by 20 foot square room with the passageway leading to the north. And you just see it's just these rubble strewn room, and that there's just a bunch of like sunken beams from all the ceilings that have been around are just like clattered in a pile, and it's just nasty murky water, and there doesn't seem to be anything interesting here except for a passageway that continues to the north.
I just keep trudging through.
Nice.
Yeah.
So yeah,
I wonder what collapsed this room.
I think if the water's returned at this point, Kaylee is just kind of taps Roland and is like, "My lord, if you would not mind."
I just assume you climb up whenever you need to.
Well, it's rude to climb people without permission.
I give you permission until we escape this hellish prison.
Okay.
Yeah, so you climb up, and the water now in this passageway is really murky and has this sludgy quality, and you can definitely see like colonies of mold that have grown on top of it, and it's putrid. And as you step into this kind of small chamber, these rough-hewn walls, you see that there is this open sarcophagus with the lid that is crushed and broken to the side. And inside is these just bare bones of this would have been a huge individual, easily the height of Lord Roland.
Ooh.
Holding an axe peacefully over its chest.
Wow, look at that guy.
Is there any iconography that would indicate who this person is?
It's just bones and an axe. There's no iconography in the room, which also seems kind of odd. There's just this plain sarcophagus with a dude inside.
Calvin's gonna investigate the sarcophagus closer, like look on the inside of it and move bones out of the way.
As you do so.
Oh, that sounds good.
As you disturb these bones, you see the flickering of this spectral image, as it almost seems to be like this ephemeral skin that forms over the bones, and you see this Viking man just as the image just covers over his hand, and he brings up his axe and stares at you menacingly.
As soon as things start moving inside the sarcophagus, Calvin jumps back as far as he can. We got this. This will be easy like the other ones, right? Right, guys?
Maybe we just leave him alone. We're super, super sorry.
I'm gone. I'm like back in the hallway, like leaving. Yep.
Okay.
Stay there, or
is it acting? Is it like coming out towards
Yeah,
us to
it's
chop? Is
yes.
Okay.
It's doing
okay.
a chop.
Yeah. Then yeah, I want to do a shoot.
Let's roll some initiative.
Okay.
Goodbye.
I got a dirty 20.
Another lucky 13 for Melody.
24 for Kaylee.
What'd you get?
15.
Sweet. Okay.
Oh boy.
All right. Well, Kaylee, you are first to act.
As she apologizes and he doesn't stop, she just goes, "Oh shit," and she just takes out a sickle from her side pouch and she just goes to just go for his head.
Nice.
Okay, that is going to be a mere 11.
That exactly hits.
Oh, sick.
Eh?
So that's gonna mean 9 bludgeoning, and then I'm going to flurry of blows. 2 15s. So
Yeah.
those are
How
both
do you
hits.
absolutely destroy this thing?
I think that she's never seen a ghost, so she's just screaming the entire time. She's like, and then it poofs, and she goes, "Oh, that wasn't that bad."
Oh, yeah, that was easy.
Well, now you know
Good
you can
work.
punch ghosts.
These hands.
Melody's like, how'd it go?
May you sleep well.
Killed it
friend.
again.
Great. Does it have a spell book?
No.
There's nothing else interesting in this room, and you have come to the dead end.
Okay.
Magic.
Yeah.
Okay.
Wow.
Boo. All right, Master of Maps.
All right, yeah, so the only ways that we haven't gone on this side of the map so far is from the stinky room going to the east. Otherwise, back into the four-way intersection of taking that southern door. So those are the only two places you have explored so far.
Do we want to go back through the stinky room then?
Oh,
No.
yay.
The stench is bracing.
Love
Smells
it.
like cookies and also slightly of eggs.
Ooh, what a combination.
Okay. So yeah, let's do that.
Go back to the Stink Palace. Oh, Sage, can't hear you.
Sorry. It goes briefly east and then immediately it turns down to the south, where you come out of the water and you see now this hallway turns east again, and you see down this long hallway there are 3 different archways on the southern half leading into small rooms, and it looks to be a door at the end of this hallway.
Okay.
So yeah, so as you're like walking down to your right, there's like archway, little room, and then door
Okay.
on the very far end.
Does the door seem distinct in any way?
Nope, it's a regular ass door.
Through the door.
Uh-huh.
Are there doors on those archways too?
There are no doors on the archways.
Well, what's
Oh,
on the
okay.
archways? Are they like
Here
decorative at
into
all?
the archways.
No, they're just like round
Plain-ass
open
archways.
like tunnels, basically
Okay.
that lead into rooms.
let's search those rooms as we go past.
Yeah.
By all means, Melody holds out her hand for you to do so.
Oh, one of you give me an investigation check with advantage as you're all kind of like helping to pick through some stuff.
Melody is not helping.
Got a 22.
Nice. So
Melody is supervising.
Yeah, you do that. Good job.
Yeah.
I guess. So the first one you come to, it's just most of this room you see it's collapsed in. It's mostly just debris, broken stone sarcophagi with nothing in them. The second one you see an open sarcophagus that stands at the back of this dusty crypt. Its heavy stone lid is just lying on the floor between the sarcophagus and the south wall. And the northern once you step into the room and you look at the archway, you see these faded frescoes of spear-wielding warriors charging across golden plains on horseback. And with your investigation, you find some scattered human bones, but you also find that there's a false bottom on this sarcophagus that's just made out of like this thick plaster.
Yeah. Get out the old crowbar.
Oh yeah.
It's time to do some artificing.
This is how we science. Smash, smash, smash.
Sometimes science looks like this too.
And your science reveals a human mummy floating in a shallow pool of red brine.
Ew, like
The-
wine mummy?
Mummy of the vine.
Ah!
And you see that the mummy has a moonstone in each eye that's embedded in its eye socket.
What the shit?
Oh, it's a
And
good
you
thing-
see, and as like the flesh has just, I know this is really weird. And as the,
Okay, if Sage thinks it's weird, then it's super weird.
Mushroom
Mushroom,
all
children
put
of the
in
corn.
Halloween one shot.
Yeah, like what the shit?
and like as like the like sloughed off flesh that has just been slowly decaying on this mummy's body, you see just like the glint of a bag tucked away inside of its rib cage.
Well,
Uh,
science has been good so far.
I'm
Let's
sorry.
Continue the research method.
So you said
And pop those
sloughed
eyes
off is
out.
like, is it floating in its own like liquefied body stew? That's what you're telling me?
Yes.
That's fucking awesome.
Just like that
Okay.
sarcophagus they opened, and people
Yeah,
are
they're
like,
like,
drink the red liquid.
Ah!
God.
It's a healing potion. Oh god.
That's actually how healing potions are made in.
No, no,
The
no.
truth hurts. It's
tell me that
people. It's people.
Healing potions brought to you by Soylent Green.
Mm.
It's now called Soylent Red. Yeah, do you want to reach inside of its chest?
I am continuing my method of research. It has been fruitful so far, so we're going to
Absolutely.
continue to use the scientific instrument of the crowbar to pop out those moonstones and then to delicately shatter the rib cage so that I can retrieve, whatever that thing is in there for science.
Kaylee's behind
Naturally. Total disgust. So as you delicately shatter this mummy's ribcage, you find this velvet pouch wherein like all of like the velvet is like has mostly decayed and like been worn off to time, and so it's really just kind of a fine mesh at this point, and inside are beans.
Beans! Oh, this is great!
So you have a bag of beans.
He says out loud.
Yep, Melody's just like on the floor, like with her book, so she can't see anything that's happening.
And as the book notes, the mummy is inanimate and doesn't protest the theft.
Good writing.
Thank you, Watsu, for this gift.
Roland is just over there with his ear against the door, hearing all this craziness happen. He's like, ugh.
Okay, we're good. I got it. There
Yeah.
are these sweet beans inside the mummy's chest.
Wow.
If
Let-
you
let 'em
plan on
away.
eating them, let me know first.
Oh,
Yeah, sure. I mean, I wouldn't hog all of them, but I don't think they're eating beans.
Calvin, I'm confident you're correct about that.
Oh my god, we need to leave.
Deeper we go.
And as you continue further down this long hallway in your easterly direction, you come to the third archway that actually leads to a closed wooden door, normal fucking door like the other one.
Calvin?
Yeah, sure. He's gonna go up to it, and I would like to investigate that door.
It's so nice to have a
Dude,
rogue in the
trying to
party.
Fly crowbar.
You're doing double duty.
Calvin is like the Mythbusters kind of
Yeah, the
science.
Oh, natural 20.
Damn, that's 3. Put the counter at 3.
So as you're kind of investigating, you're trying to see if there are any traps or anything, or what are you seeking for in this investigation?
Yeah, I'm searching the door for traps.
Okay, yeah. So definitely reveals that this door is not trapped. And as you had your head close pressed against the door, trying to feel the edges of the door for any sort of mechanisms, you hear this faint moaning coming from the other side of the door, and slow, purposeless shambling from a number of creatures, or maybe one big creature with a lot of legs that's just like shuffling around. But yeah.
Okay. So Calvin, is lean ear up against the door, and he goes to turn the knob, and then he thinks better of it, turns around and says, "So there's things in here. I'm not sure how many things though, but they're shambling things. So we should be suspicious."
Roland.
Just wanted to let you all know before I open the door.
Yeah,
it's not trapped though.
Do you want it? You're like a. I'm like kind of squint my eyes and look at you, cleric. I say
What?
I say.
I am a priest of Kellenvor, yes.
Why don't you go and open it?
All right.
I apply boot.
As you kick in this door forcefully, it is thus revealed to you 6 humans who are just, you easily see that these are zombies just shambling around the room. And as you kick in the door, they all immediately turn to you and make their way towards you menacingly. You like
Picture them with
zombies?
clipboards when they make that noise. PS reports.
Curse!
Company
Serve!
picnic.
Yep, thou dead.
I say, and brandish my warhammer.
Beautiful.
Oh, really?
Beautiful.
Initiative, I assume.
Oh, yes!
19.
Jacked.
Good.
A 14 for Melody.
9 for Calvin.
5 for Roland.
Do I have anything that's not necrotic damage? Oh, shocking grasp. My one true friend.
Go, invisible imp.
You're my only hope, Waldo.
Sting them with your poison.
No, he can't attack them because I'm not a warlock. But he can cast the shit out of things for me. Yes. Yes. Nice Foley. Excellent work.
All right, Tina.
Oh, we went so much Bob's Burgers yesterday. Oh, so good.
I am enjoying that Melody's brand is to tell party members what to do, and they do it. It's so great.
It's a power. It's a gift.
Yeah, I am the most powerful member of this group, so quite literally, I can make lightning out of my fingies. It's no big deal.
You know, like you do.
I only worked my entire life to master this, but whatever. It's fine. Who is first? Is it Paul? Oh,
Can you see me?
Yeah.
We're good?
Yeah, sorry.
Okay, cool. It is Kaylee. Kaylee's first.
Yeah, so once again, I'm just going to go ahead and move through Roland's space and then go ahead and try to punch some fucking zombies. Actually, I'm going to sickle one and then punch another.
I don't want to
Don't get
touch that.
surrounded.
So the first one is 15 plus 7, so 22.
Oh, yeah.
That's going to be 9 slashing damage.
Oh, you perfectly decapitate this zombie.
And then the next one is a 12.
That does it.
Oh, sick.
Zombie
That's going to be
squish.
6 points with my fist of bludgeoning.
Oh, it's not quite dead, but it looks real bad. You have punched through its gut. And then...
I imagine that's awesome.
Gross.
Yes.
Worse than nuts.
Rotten viscera. And then it is the zombies, and they're gonna swarm in on you.
We should put a slime content warning on this stream. I feel like this is just gonna get worse.
So much worse.
Oh, awesome. Good to hear.
And as they're all just like shambling towards you, they reach out their claws and lash them out at you, but only 2 of them manage to actually sink hits as they're just wildly throwing blows. And you take 10 damage.
Oof. Kaylee looks real fucking bad.
And it is Melody's turn.
Cool. Yeah, so I'm in the hall for sure. I'm not in the room. But I will send Waldo into the room, and I'm gonna have Waldo, run like in between people's legs and jump up on the zombie that's not quite dead. So the one Kaylee did like 6 damage to.
Mm-hmm.
And that old friend, shocking grasp.
Woo!
Woo! Okay, so 13 on the die, so that'll hit.
Yes.
A zombo. Cool. That's 6 points of lightning damage.
And it zaps and falls to the floor.
Excellent. And I'm just gonna stay in the hall.
Nice. All right. Calvin. Two down, 4 to go.
He will just barely like step into the room, so he's got a clear line of sight, and take a shot at the next closest zombie.
Mm-hmm.
That is a 12.
That hits.
Sweet.
Yes.
Ki. That's a D10. I wish I got to roll that. No. D8. Here we go. Oh,
Not yet.
that's 4 damage.
Okay.
Anything else for you?
That will be all.
Roland, your righteous fury. You see these horrible abominations before you.
So I see them all kind of surround Kaylee and basically start tearing her apart. And I go, no! And run forward, kind of just trudge out, shield forward, and swing at one of the ones that's remaining standing.
Get it.
19 to hit. Yeah. And 8 points of bludgeoning damage.
Woo! You destroy it.
Q, is there any left standing?
There are 3 left.
3. I will turn. This seems to be dire situation. So I'm going to turn and use my second war priest for the entire day.
Oh no!
And make another attack against a different Zombroni.
Yeah, no channels left. Only one first level spell slot left. I'm feeling great about the rest of this dungeon.
16 to hit.
I could cast Grease again.
Hell yeah. Nailing
With a
it.
16
It'll be
hit,
fine.
that will be 11 points of bludgeoning damage.
You
maximum
take
damage.
down yet another one.
Crunch, crunch. And
Great. Great job.
I'll stand near Kaylee and be like, "No, me! Look at my flesh!" Ah! And try to draw their attention.
Oh yeah. As you are the bigger, more menacing thing in the room, they start to clamor towards you. Kaylee, you have the chance to act as they are now starting to turn their focus.
Yeah, I think for a second she gets really scared as she's being ripped to shreds. But then seeing her new buddy there, she like kind of goes and swoops up from one side and tries to like punch so that she's behind him, and then goes to the other side and does it there too. So that's an 18 and a 14. And then both of them are 8 points of damage.
Woo, and you fell another one. There is only one lonely one standing left in the room.
Yeah, and she just kind of goes behind Roland and just.
And that last one left makes a desperate attempt to strike at you, Roland, and just misses and trips over this broken sarcophagus lid. And Malady, it's your turn.
Cool. Yeah, you all hear it. And like jumping up from the ground from the other zombie to this one. Pooh, more lightning.
More
One
lightning.
trick pony. Okay, so it's a 12 on the die, so boom.
Oh yeah.
And then 6 lightning. Boom.
And it is felled.
You hear like and like something is like on the ground.
So unsettling.
Wait, we can see that thing now
It's
because it's in
because
of the
light.
lantern.
I don't think Waldo knows that. But you see, it's
He's like slapping his ass.
better.
yeah, he's like
Like, I'll fucking crush
Yeah.
you, little.
So Waldo is an imp. He is completely white except for his tail is red, and he has these like markings on his face that are sort of these large black circles.
Like a
Hmm.
raccoon.
Like if it almost looks like the impression of glasses if he were to have them.
Cute.
And if he sees you looking at him directly for the first time, he totally is. He's like dancing and like teabagging the zombie and like comes up and like looks you in the eye and is just like and then we'll like skitter back to
The other
where
one is-
Malady is.
The other
Good
one
job,
that's like
little buddy.
the other one that's like dangling on your back
Oh, yeah.
is like pointing at Waldo, and it's like
And Waldo slaps the one that's hanging on my bag across the face.
and that's where we'll leave.
Is that the
God.
end for today?
That's the end
What
of
a
the day.
beautiful note.
Teabagging zombies.
Oh,
and
yes.
Slapping imps.
All right. Well, before we get into announcements, I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to draw the winner here. So let me see. Who wins dice? Everybody, hold it with bated breath. Here we go. Here we go. And our winner is Muse93. Are you in the chat, Muse? Congratulations. If you are, go ahead, send us a message, let us know you're here, and then send us a direct message either through here or for Twitter, and we'll figure it out and get you your dice. So we'll give Muse a couple more minutes here to answer. So let's go ahead and do our outros. Oh, yay! Muse is here! Yay! Oh, you're awesome. Thank you so much for winning. So go ahead, send us a direct message and tell us where to send these awesome dice. All right, but go for it. Sage, close this out.
Yes, we shall be here 2 weeks from today to catch us for episode 3 of Descent into Avernus on November 6th. day after election. So make sure to vote and then watch us the next day. Great way to celebrate democracy. But yes, I have been your storyteller, leading you to hell soon. Sage.
And I am Celeste Konowich, and I have been Malady, your super excited tiefling wizard.
I'm JV, because
Yes.
that's alphabetical
Nailed it.
order.
I'm so
And
proud
I
of
was
you.
playing
Lord Roland Belrand Dan Cadriel.
your cleric.
I'm Katie, and I have been playing Kaylee Bramblebarrel, your gaping wound of a halfling monk.
I am Paul Harpering, and I was playing Calvin Coleridge, scientist extraordinaire, fire genasi artificer.
Yes, beautiful. Come watch Venture Maidens next week as we are now well into the throes of Arc 4, the final arc. And catch us 2 weeks from now. But you know what we're going to do until next time, y'all?
Wait, what are we gonna say though? But tell me before you do it.
Venture to hell.
Oh,
Venture-
okay. Did we? We're sorry. Fuck, I
Ven-
wasn't listening when we
Venture to
talked
hell.
about that. Okay. All right.
We got this.
Okay. Ready?
Uh-huh. Yeah.
What are we going to do?
Venture to hell.
Oh.
So many
Venture to hell.
syllables. Okay, I'm switching to the end.